Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Holistic Witch's Cottage. My name is Melissa, and I am the Holistic Witch, and it is Thanksgiving Day. I usually record in the morning, so it's dark outside, so this is a little bit weird, but it's been a cold, chilly, weird, but fun in its own way, Thanksgiving Day. So today I'm wearing a long navy blue velour sweater dress with black fleecy tights. It's cold outside. We had some snow. And in the coffee cup is just black roast coffee with a little bit of eggnog. But nothing added to that. No, not special eggnog. Just regular old store-bought eggnog. So let's just talk a little bit about Thanksgiving. So today we had our traditional Thanksgiving dinner. Hubby, myself, and the younger son, Christopher, and we had turkey, squash, potatoes, sweet potatoes, cranberries, broccoli, and pie. I had homemade bread too, but I don't think anybody had any of that. So we celebrated our Gratitude Day. We consider Thanksgiving the fourth Gratitude Festival, and we do this as a celebration to ourselves for the hard work we do during the year with our homesteading, because we grow a lot of our own food. So a lot of the stuff on the table today was grown from our garden, and we are very grateful, and we like to celebrate that. Now, I know some people do the Friendsgiving Day. I make joke about I don't have any friends, so we don't do the Friendsgiving thing. We're a pretty private family. Today was also Indigenous Peoples Day of Mourning, so anyone who was acknowledging that, blessings as well. So to finish up on Thanksgiving, so if you're not watching football or holiday movies or whatever, if you want to do a little crafting, you could do a jar spell, you could do a simmer pot, or if you'd like to kitchen witch like yours truly, then here are some suggestions for you. Most of these items can be used fresh or dried depending on what you want to make. So if you're doing a jar spell, I'd probably go with a dried item. And if you're doing a soup, a stew, a chili, or a chowder, or a casserole, you could use fresh, or you could use dried as well. Okay? So for corn, let's talk a little bit about magical correspondences. Corn corresponds with protection and luck. Cranberries with protection and love. Onion corresponds to protection. Potatoes correspond to healing. Pumpkin corresponds to abundance, prosperity, protection, and fertility. You could use pumpkin flesh, pumpkin peel, or dried pumpkin seeds if you wanted to put those into a jar. Okay? Let's talk about herbs. Cinnamon corresponds to vitality and love, and cinnamon is a potent power booster. Garlic can be used for healing and anti-gossip. Orange, the flesh, the peel, or the zest can be used for happiness. Rosemary corresponds to protection, cleansing, and remembrance. And sage corresponds to protection, and there's one more on the list, and thyme corresponds to good health. And I'm sure you can find other lists that have other correspondences on them, but that is the one that I found on a Thanksgiving meme today, and I agreed with everything that I saw on it. Of course, different cultures and different people practice differently. You could whip up a little spell jar. You could put some in a simmer pot. Cranberries and cinnamon sounds very nice. Or you could do it in a beverage or like I said, a soup or any type of meal. There is no limit to what you can do when you are crafty in the kitchen. So let's move on to another topic. Sometimes the holidays are just hard. And I struggle with holidays myself. So the other day on Yoga and Time, I did a live video. That feels like so long ago. I said the other day. I think it was yesterday. I did a video about breathing techniques to calm anxiety at any time, but especially during the holidays. And then I ended with a few supine stretches in case you eat too much at the holiday dinner and have some tummy distress afterwards. So if that's something that interests you, you can take a look on the Yoga and Time Facebook group and take a look at that video. It's probably on Reels because that's where they send everything now. And remember, when you're in stressful situations, and for me, holidays can be very stressful, you can always return to your breath. You can return to those grounding and centering techniques, and you can take care of your best self through your own self-care and through returning to the breath. Like I said, the breath, I'm rambling. The breath, the rambling, and just focusing on your own good health. Okay? I hope that made sense because I'm not sure that it did. Because I'm getting to the part of the podcast that I'm not liking so much. Holidays can be hard, and that's why some people choose not to acknowledge them anymore. I printed out a list from the Mother Wound Project today, and I got this from a Disassociation with Trauma page that I follow. It is the 8 rules of dysfunctional family holiday rules and regulations. I'm actually re-recording because I didn't like how this sounded the first time. So I'm going to put a trigger warning on this. I am going to read the 8 rules and talk about these a bit. If you feel like this is something you would rather skip, it's okay. If you hang in there with me and I read something that feels triggering to you, this may be something you want to talk to someone about, or something you want to consider shadow work on a specific topic, and we can talk about that more after I read the list. I hear puppy feet upstairs. I'm in the studio today. So, number 1, keep the most powerful family members happy. I've certainly been in that situation in my own life. It can be difficult. I should start by saying I am no contact with some family members, and some family members seem to be no contact with me. And to be honest, I'm not exactly sure who started that, and I'm cool with it either way. As a child, I felt like, growing up in the 70s, it was a very different dynamic than it is in many households today. But sometimes I feel like as children, it was our job to go out of our way to people please, and sometimes we're put in uncomfortable and maybe inappropriate situations because of that. So that's one thing to be aware of. Number 2, traditions matter more than people. I think we'll just leave that as it stands. Number 3, how it looks is more important than how it feels. looking back on my childhood, I feel like appearances was a very huge thing. It was often said, like, that just shows what kind of person you are. That just shows what kind of person they are. It really didn't. It was like all based upon appearance and clothes and brands and labels and stuff like that. So it got weird. Sometimes I felt like the inside, who a person really was, just didn't matter. It was all about outer trappings and outer appearances, and like completely the opposite. Now, number 4, offensive behavior isn't the problem. The problem is having a problem with offensive behavior. I certainly have some examples of that growing up, where we're sort of just supposed to pretend things weren't happening, bad things weren't happening. We'll talk about this more on number 6. Number 5 is know your place in the family hierarchy. As the youngest child in my biological family, I've always, even though I'm almost 60, I'm still like the baby. And that never really changed, and I guess that happens. But like, I was kept at the kids' table until I was 24, and then I think I was 25-ish when I had my first son, and much older with Christopher. And then I was sent to the kids' table with my own children, so I don't feel like I ever left the kids' table. And in some ways, like, not only physically did I not leave that kids' table, but emotionally and mentally I wasn't allowed to leave the kids' table. I was always treated lesser than, and that's something I still struggle with in my family hierarchy today. It's always just been considered that I was less than or dumb. Yeah, I've even had cousins tell me they thought I was retarded because of the way my family treated me, that they thought that I was literally mentally retarded because they couldn't imagine anyone speaking to anyone that, and I know this is really, really insensitive, but in the 70s, that's the way people talked. But, like, I was gifted in school, and I certainly wasn't treated like someone who had any knowledge. It was just sort of like shoved in the corner and out of the way. Until, okay, so number 6. That's just how so-and-so is. Okay. I think this comes up more in my husband's family, although I have some examples of it too. He has a sibling. When hubby and I were first dating, I was invited, I think it was a family reunion. It was a family event, his family, and we're all sitting there eating at picnic tables. It's an outdoor event. Everyone's eating. There was not like a baseball game going on at the time. No one was messing around with a baseball. But this sibling decided to just chuck a baseball right at my son's face while we were eating, and he hurt him. I was so mad. I was livid. And, like, I've told hubby now, like, that was almost a deal breaker for me. But that kind of behavior is just uncalled for. This was not an accident. This was completely planned, and it was to be funny, and it just wasn't funny. And there is no place at my table for that person, and there never has been, and there won't be. So I'm not okay with people behaving like that. And just because everybody in their family would say that's just how he behaves, that's just how he is, you just have to deal with it. No, I didn't have to deal with it. I have handled it by that person not existing for me. So that's how his behavior is not my problem because he is not in my space. Number 7, children must appear joyful, be compliant, and make adults feel special at all times. This goes back to my childhood with appearances. Again, the thing about we thought you were retarded. I was often dressed up inappropriately for the situation. Some people refer to it or have referred to it as like the China doll complex, where a child is dressed up like a baby doll or like a China doll, and they're told not to speak, not to interact, to the point where I actually feel like emotionally I was stunted in a way. I wasn't allowed to have normal social development because I wasn't allowed to speak out in public. But I was just supposed to sit there and look like her perfect version of a China doll. And of course that's, not developmentally appropriate. And I'm a retired school teacher, and I could go into educational theory and how awful that is. But the whole being compliant and letting adults basically do whatever they wanted to you is also inappropriate, and hopefully society's moving past that, I hope. Number 8, what they really think gets said about you after you leave. My older son, when he was a teenager, used to tell me, like, Mom, the moment you walk out of a room, it just starts. The stuff they say about you, the stuff they say about us is disgusting. It's horrific. And my son actually broke off contact with my family long before I decided to break off contact with certain people. And now my younger son, who's much younger than the other one, also chooses to be no contact with a lot of people, because both of the boys were just like, Mom, I can't believe the way that you are treated. And that's one of the things, like my husband said early in our relationship. He was invited over. My husband's a fantastic cook, and was invited over to my mom's to make something for a holiday dinner, and that got really weird, and maybe someday I'll tell that bizarre story. But he was like, nope, never again, not doing that for them. I cannot believe the way that they treat you, and I'm not going to sit there and watch them do that. And that's part of the reason that we also have chosen as a family to not put ourselves in toxic environments. So I know these rules are hard for some people. Again, if you felt triggered or bothered by anything, that could be something that you may want to look into with shadow work, maybe some journaling, and decide, like, for example, number 6, that's just how so-and-so is. If you have a so-and-so in your family, maybe writing about that, how those feelings make you feel about rules didn't or don't apply to that person, and how you're supposed to comply to that person just to keep family peace. Maybe journaling, maybe tarot, maybe your preferred method of meditation or journaling might help you come to some realizations in that in your life and how to move on past that. I would like to say I'm 100% healed from some of these traumas. I am not. I definitely am not. I think I have made huge progress in some areas, and some of it I can just kind of laugh off, like it was the 70s and I guess we didn't know any better, but now is no longer the 70s and I do know better, so I won't behave that way and I won't let my children be subjected to that type of thing. In the 70s, I didn't know there was any other way, but now that I'm old, I do know that people can behave better than that, so I expect that. So I guess we will leave that on the dysfunctional family holiday rules. Now that brings me to another mini topic, because it's all over social media this week, on a very famous podcast by a very famous person. They talked about a topic of no contact being a new trend. I don't necessarily know that adult children or family members deciding to have boundaries, I don't necessarily think that it's a trend. If you feel that you need to be no contact, I respect your reasons for doing that, and I would hope that people respect my reasons for doing that. We all have our own reasons, and we're all allowed to be mentally, emotionally, and physically safe and have boundaries to protect ourselves and our families and our children. I certainly have done that, and I've even told my kids, because this has been a thing. If I don't ever want my adult children to feel forced that they have to have a relationship with me if they feel uncomfortable or unsafe in a relationship with me. They should be allowed to talk to me about it and work it out, and if they don't feel that they can resolve that, I would respect that from them, because I feel that too many adult children are forced to remain in unbalanced relationships, and some people suffer and struggle from that. So wherever you're at in that journey, I respect that. I am not a mental health counselor. I do energy work. I am a yoga instructor, and I work with other alternate therapies. And if you ever want a recommendation on something to relieve toxicity, buildup in connective tissue or whatever, I could probably be a pretty good reference for that. But I am not a mental health therapist. I could give you some ideas for stretches or working with crystals or different things that might be nice complementary additions for you. But if at any time you feel like you need to reach out to a counselor or someone to help with your emotional health, I hope that you would feel safe and secure to do that. I certainly encourage people to do that if they feel the need. I've done it in the past, so I definitely support that. So Thanksgiving is over. My Christmas tree is up, and I'm in the studio, so my little tiny tree's in here, but I haven't set it up yet. The theme this year is red and white for my Christmas trees, and pretty red flowers and pretty cardinals, and I'm excited for more yummy recipes, more yummy crafts, and going out in nature and all those cool things we try to do in December. And plus there'll probably be snow in my future. So whatever you're doing, whatever your December looks like, however your holiday looked, I wish you well. Hoping for more recipes, more cooking in December. If you have any topics that you'd like to hear, let me know. If you need to reach out, you're always welcome. I think we'll leave it on that. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I wish you well. I am full of gratitude. I started this whole online cottage adventure probably 5 years ago. And then at the 2024 election, things got really weird and felt unsafe on Facebook. And I took a break. And then I renamed the group and changed it to a page. And I am so grateful. Like in 5 months, I've gotten more followers and more cool people who reach out to me than I did on 5 years in the other one. And, the podcast journey has been a wild ride. It's kind of a short ride because I started in the spring. I haven't been doing it that long, but who would have ever thought, I'm just a kindergarten teacher from some tiny town of less than 700 people in the mountains of central Pennsylvania. Who would have thought? It's been fun. I'm so grateful for everybody who listens and everybody who reaches out and has conversations with me. You guys are awesome. So thank you, full of gratitude wherever you are. Blessings on your journey, and bye-bye.